Every day, Rabbi Yisrael Haber commutes from his home in Chispin, a border settlement in the Golan Heights, and a pistol shot from the Syrian army. His destination is a half-hour drive to the Chabad school in Yavniel, where he serves as its principal. For Rabbi Haber, Yavniel is the latest challenge in a life of public service as rabbi and teacher.
Every day when I leave my house here in Chispin, here in the Golan Heights, along the border with Syria, going down the mountain, down the heights, along the Sea of Galilee, the Yam Kinneret, the beautiful scenery, the vistas rolling by, until I get to the heart of the Galilee, where Yavniel is situated. I see before myself on many occasions the beautiful vistas and scenery that remind me of places that I lived in the past. Alaska, and with its majestic mountainside. Dallas with its wide open spaces. Places like Japan and the Azores, where I served the Jewish people as well. All of these places provided a frontier life. There was a frontier life both spiritually and physically. In Alaska, I served as the captain for the United States Air Force, and in essence, I was the only rabbi for the entire state of Alaska, both for the civilian and military communities. As such, we were the only Jewish Orthodox family living in the entire state, and the many needs that the Jewish community needed in Alaska, such as Jewish prayer books, such as kosher foods, such as building of a mikveh, was supplied by Chabad. The Rebbe himself took a very active interest in following what we were doing, in the fact that we received letters from the Rebbe, and upon the completion of the mikveh that Chabad helped build all the way in Alaska, the Rebbe sent us a formal letter instructing us how to use it, how to enhance the Jewish participation of the rest of the community towards mitzvot. When we saw the Rebbe, and were privileged to be by the Rebbe those many years ago, the first of many visits, we had the opportunity of being with the Rebbe Shlita for 27 minutes. During that time, the Rebbe outlined programs that he wanted us to implement in Alaska, and blessed us with children of our own. Today, which we're proud to say we have 4 wonderful boys, all learning here in yeshivas in Eretz Yisrael, here in Israel.
Things seem quite normal now in the Chabad religious elementary school in Yavniel. Every morning, dozens of cars and tenders bring children from nearby Tiberias, as well as from towns and moshavim, such as Kfar Tavor, Menachemia, Poria, and Smadar. The children living in Yavniel walk to school or are brought by tractor, a popular means of transportation in this agricultural district. The happy faces of the children belie the fact that only a short period before, this school, the only religious elementary school within a radius of 30 miles, was facing closure because of dwindling enrollment and the opposition of some anti-religious activists. At the last minute, the Chabad Educational Network took on the challenge and responsibility of reopening the school and drafted Rabbi Haber to what everyone thought was a mission impossible.
4 days before the school year, the Chabad Educational Committee here in Israel came to me and said to me, "You know what? You're drafted." I said, "Drafted to what?" "You're going to become the principal of the school in Yavniel." I said, "The school in Yavniel, when is this going to be for?" And they said, 4 days from now, we have to open school. I said, "You want me to take this job in 4 days? There was no transportation set up to have the children come in from Menachemia and from Kfar Tavor and from Tiberias. And what about the staff?" They said, "The staff? You have 4 days to choose a staff." I said, "There's nobody here on the staff yet?" And they said, "No." And I said, what about the buildings? And what about the upkeep? And what about the monies?" And they said, "We were sure you could do it." And it just seemed unbelievable, preposterous. And I said, "Well, I'll write to the Rebbe." perhaps even feeling that there would probably be no answer to such a scheme. And soon after the letter was written, while still in Yavniel, I received a call from my wife Miriam, telling me that the Rebbe, in fact, instructed his secretary to tell us the following. The Rebbe wrote, Yisrael Haber, Manahel Beit Sefer Chabad Yavniel, the principal of the Chabad school in Yavniel, V'yehei b'hatzlacha, and you shall meet with success.
בית ספר ביבניאל, בית ספר חב"ד ביבניאל, שפתחתי לו פשוט, זה בשבילי, כן.
בשביל רבי הייבר.
זה תודה רבה בשביל כל העניינים, הצלחה רבה שהיא הבית שמונה, וצדוקות תהיו לערב התפילה, בשורות טובות.
We went to the Rebbe soon after the opening of school, and I presented to the Rebbe a picture, a photo of the students in the school, and again was privileged on behalf of the school to receive a full bracha by the Rebbe during his handout of dollars for tzedakah. And with those brachas, we've taken on the task, and Baruch Hashem, we seem to have been meeting with success.
The Rebbe's bracha was immediately translated into Rabbi Haber's first success in bringing to the school a staff of first-rate professionals. They converged from the north and south, from the Golan Heights, and even from distant Afula, to join in the mission of saving the only religious school in the area. Prominent among this staff is Mrs. Chedva Segel, a noted author of books on Hasidic topics. She acts as the vice principal and is a teacher in the lower grades. Many of the teachers at the Chabad school in Yavniel have received special training in modern pedagogical techniques, such as Mrs. Henya Ronas, who uses the computer to assist in learning mathematics. Of course, being a Chabad school, the major emphasis is to instill religious values with Hasidic warmth and simcha, beginning with the daily prayer in the classes and continuing with studies in the Torah and the Talmud.
שהזמן שאפשר להתחיל להגיד 18 בתפילת שחרית הוא נע בין השעות 6:30 ל-27.
At least once a week, there is a special assembly program which is held under very cramped conditions in the bomb shelter, since the school doesn't yet have the funds to build a proper assembly hall. Here, guest speakers such as Rabbi David Bachman, the chief rabbi of Menachemia, ignite the children with a Hasidic fervor. And in the upswell of their singing, the limitation of the facilities is forgotten. The Chabad school in Yavniel is also a modern school in its outlook, catering to the general population, and even an American kid would feel at home here, playing basketball in the gymnasium, which is leased by the school since it lacks a sports facility of its own.
I enjoy a school that's well-rounded, offering religious studies, Torah studies, secular studies, and even extracurricular activities, sports. I myself, as a kid, enjoyed throwing a basketball around. Even though the years are starting to take their toll on me, I don't throw the ball the way I used to. Sometimes I miss now. But knowing what sports was for me growing up in the U.S., and still, I must say, missing hearing a baseball score now and then, I believe it really is part of the curriculum, part of a healthy curriculum for the children to be able to participate in an active sports program as well.
Rabbi Haber's stress on the importance of the student finding avenues of self-expression can be seen in many ways. The younger students are encouraged to draw and illustrate their homework. Another innovation is the drama class, where students learn to develop their abilities, such as this rehearsal of a pantomime concert. Dan, the young maestro here, immigrated with his family from Russia only a few months ago and is one of many who have quickly acclimatized to the framework of the school. The story of the Russian Jews in the Chabad school in Yavniel is perhaps the biggest drama of all. But before we begin to talk about it, we should first explore how the local residents of Yavniel feel about the school. The town of Yavniel, as we've mentioned before, is located in the fertile Jezreel Valley, with agricultural vistas similar to the heartland of America. Farming, of course, is the main occupation here, but many work as skilled craftsmen, such as Moshe Sigron, who has a carpentry workshop in Yavniel and is one of the avid supporters of the Chabad school.
כמעט והבית ספר נסגר. לברוך השם, חב"ד נכנס.
The school was almost closed down, but, Baruch Hashem, Chabad came in and began to bring the children from all over and make them into good kids. You should know that it's Hatzalat Nefashot, saving the souls, because in Yavniel there's a great apathy. If there wasn't a religious school here, all the youth would have gone to a secular school. So Chabad, by being here, has saved a lot of kids, and this I feel personally. I see how my boy comes home and tells me about Parshat HaShavua, the weekly Sedra. It's terrific.
יכול להגיד על ילד של בן אחותי הוא כמעט הלך לאיזה מוסד סגור. זה בדוק, דבר ידוע, ברוך השם.
And then there's my nephew, who almost was sent to a reform school. Baruch Hashem, since Chabad opened up the school, the boy is as if he was born anew. Simply unbelievable. Sir, this is Hatzalat Nefashot. The boy would have been lost. And how many children here are like him? The Chabad spirit is also felt in the way acts of chesed or kindness by the students are encouraged and developed. Thus, Judith, a girl blind from birth, was accepted to the school, and her successful integration there is a testimony to the school's Hasidic values. Also a part of the curriculum is devoted to miftzoim, or good deed activities by the students, such as visiting the sick at Poria Hospital and the senior citizens at a local retirement home. It's now quite common to hear Russian spoken at the Chabad school in Yavniel, since many of the new immigrants living in Tiberias have agreed to send their children there, being impressed with the balance of a good secular education with a strong background in Jewish values. As Mr. Alex Gilkarov, the father of Dan, our young maestro, says,
все обычаи, то, что проходит сейчас в Израиле, мы соблюдали в Союзе тоже. Сын хочет учиться в бет-сефере.
The first day we came to Tiberias, my son visited a synagogue. It was very interesting to him. He wanted to know where the Torah came from. He said to me that he wanted to go to a religious school, so I asked around and sent him to Chabad in Yavniel. He gets along there very well. He now tells me that he feels as if he is a Sabra, as if he was born in Israel. He progresses well in the Torah. He reads Hebrew. I myself went to the school and sat in the classes and was very impressed. We also saw him acting in a concert and enjoyed it very much.
I'm very excited about the Russian immigration to Israel. Very close by, there's a massive building operation going on. Bulldozers are working day and night relentlessly to build the houses for the Russian immigrants to come now to Yavniel. And we want those students to come to our school. We want to be ready for them. And our building campaign is the only hope.
וכאן, באזור הזה שנמצא פה, בצד הזה אנחנו נקים את המבנה המרכזי או המבנים המרכזיים שיכילו
The prospects of a tremendous increase of enrollment due to the Russian immigration has required Rabbi Haber, assisted by Mrs. Segal and Rabbi Sinai Frankel, the chief rabbi of Yavniel, to make very ambitious plans for rehabilitating and expanding the existing campus, which will require an investment of over $1 million. Since only a small portion of the funding is available from local and government sources, the major support must come from private donation. This is the challenge and opportunity we are asking from you. Your generosity is needed to help the Chabad school in Yavniel become a light and a beacon to this important area of northern Israel.